What up? Welcome to Recovering Addict. I am LT, your host, your voice of serenity on a Sunday night.
Yay, Sunday. I'm Felice Weaver, your co-host. Married to this guy, the addict.
And if you didn't know, I'm an alcoholic addict to the fullest. And when I first figured out I was an addict, it didn't hit me till I was in my 30s, after I had lost a huge battle with meth addiction and ended up in jail for a year. So it takes a while for it to kick in sometimes, but all the seeds that were planted up through then finally came to fruition now, as I'm a 40-year-old who has been to detox, been to jail, been to IOP programs, still continue to go to these programs weekly because it never ends. It's a battle for the rest of our lives. We are not like other people. We have an allergy. It doesn't affect us the same. We can't just have, if you're an alcoholic, a half a glass of wine and walk away. You have to finish that. And if there's any left in the bottle, you're going to finish that too. It's the phenomenon of craving. We read that today in our little impromptu Zoom meeting at 6 o'clock. That was really awesome. And for those of you who are there, thank you for joining us. That was a good meeting. My buddy Rob came back, and like he said, there's meetings that he liked to go to are in the hospitals. The hospitals are still pretty strict on what's going on around here. So we started that one. And I'm thinking that was pretty good. Maybe we'll start doing a 6 o'clock Sunday night meeting. I don't know yet. We'll see. We'll see how that pans out. But what you can expect from this show is recovery. Anything recovery related. If you're only a couple days clean, we're here for you. If you're drunk and high right now and you want to get sober, we're here for you. If you got years under your belt and you're just looking for some more education and support, we're here for you. We're a bridge to a community that's here for you. And we're all here for each other because, as we always say, we recover better together. And it's no lie. I mean, that is a fact. We recover better together. We got Michael Teeter trying to get that stinking song stuck in my head again. What's up, Dwight? How you doing today, brother? We got Jump Little Doggy in the house. Who else we got hanging out with us? Murd. Hey, what's going on, Murd? How you doing, brother? John, pleasure as always.
Jenny,
JJ Johnson. Cat's up in this house. Right on. Cherie, what's up? Welcome. Mama of Kenny. Hey. Jacqueline. Saw her today just a little bit ago. That was cool.
Desmond from Down Under.
Desmond, what's up, mate? Brittany, how are you? LT, I watched that song. I don't drink. Waiting for your stream to start.
Nice. 28 days, Brittany.
Ooh. That's cool, bro. Brittany's on 28?
Yep.
Atta girl. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Staying sober and clean, just one day at a time, 1 hour at a time. And right now, here's an hour. You can tune in. You can chat with the people in the chat. You can listen to me, blah, blah, blah. And an hour is going to go by, hopefully quick. And you'll be like, wow, another hour sober, another hour under our belt of sobriety. And I hope that we add value. If we do add value, please hit the like button. Let us know how much you appreciate the stream by hitting that like button. And if you're not subscribed, please do subscribe and ring the bell, because that way you'll get notified of our 8 o'clock every night streaming. We're going to stream every night at 8 o'clock until something happens, which is basically YouTube monetization. And then I'm going to change it up to add more value later, because what I am trying to do is this full time. So Felice and I have been strategizing our finances, getting things paid off, selling things we don't need, because you don't need. There's so much crap in this world we don't need, especially when it comes to your happiness. Are you willing to work this is just me ranting to myself, okay? But work a job for $30,000 more a year, and you're less happy just so you can drive a car that's 10 years newer. When if you settled for a car that was 10 years older, you could have a different job that didn't pay quite as much, but your life would be happier. I've finally figured this out in my 40s that that's what I need to do, because the average life on earth is only 72, right? If I make it to 72, I only got 30 left. I've already destroyed the first 40, most of it with, drug, alcohol, addiction, all that crap that we do. The next half, I'm living completely different. I'm going to do what other wise people say. I'm going to stick to wise people's wisdom. I'm going to learn, educate myself. And then I'm going to try to be in love and support everybody that comes around me. I'm doing things different the last half of my life. That's just that.
Yep.
Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Lee. Erin, she was in there. What's up, Erin?
Sky's going to have 30 days tomorrow.
Ooh. I'm going to have to do a special video for Sky. For Shizzle. We've seen her ups and downs.
Ooh, I got an idea.
Ooh, hot wings, Marcus. Those are my favorite. The crispy ones. Yeah. I like them real crispy.
Aaron heard of a canyon today that Alicia went in. It's called Donut Falls.
I bet it was delicious.
So Aaron wants to come to Utah to hike up Donut Falls and eat some donuts.
Yeah, you have to eat donuts if you go to Donut Falls.
Dwight said hi.
My 30th bud.
So how'd everybody's weekend go? Everybody feeling good? Feeling refreshed? Feeling recharged? Are you spiritually fit? Are you mentally prepared to take on the grind, the Monday through Friday, the things we do because we got to do them? You guys there? Is you guys' heads right? Hey, Mandy, welcome back.
See, we need to move next to Aaron so we can be best friends because we think the same.
Yeah, you guys do think a lot alike. Mama Kenny said the weekend went fast. Too fast, as always. Steve Sherwood, 245 days sober. Boomski.
Awesome.
That's awesome, brother. Look at that. 245 days. During tough times in your life, what does this little thing say? That you'll get to see the true colors of the people who say they care about you. Notice who sticks around and who doesn't, and be grateful to those who leave you, for they have given you something to the room. That looks like a good quote right there, brother. Sounds like you know what's up with recovery. And thank you, you're here. I'm glad you're here. We could use your wisdom in the chat. Anything you hear and say, anything you hear we talk about, please throw out your wisdom in your comments. 245 days doesn't come without trials and tribulations. So let us know of the things you've overcome if you hear anything and get inspired by anything. We need you, brother. We are a community of people who need each other. Recovery is it's a community thing. First, it starts with me getting myself better, right? In this family situation. I was an alcoholic. She was not. What I did, the plane was going down. So I put the mask on myself, right? You've heard that old saying, taking care of myself. Now that I'm taking care of myself, she was doing the same thing with her type of counseling that she was dealing with. And now we're together. Now we are recovering together. And now we've kind of started getting this handled. Now we're reaching out to a bigger community, and we all need each other so that we can all recover better together.
We recover better together.
Amen. What's up, Bob?
Hey, Bob.
Worked every day, but I didn't take an hour off for church this morning. Haven't had a day off since February. Wow, it must be the season for that stuff, huh? Easy does it, Bob. Isn't that one of our sayings? Easy does it. We had an awesome outing here in the Anchored Hearts. Shout out to Anchored Hearts. Laser tag and go-karts. Dude,
That
lucky.
sounds fun.
Love go-karts. That's one of my favorites.
Go-karts. I've never played laser tag,
It's fun.
but I have done go-karts.
Hung out with my pastor today, so yes, I am spiritually good. Awesome. I hope he gave you
Nice.
some good wisdom from the word. And God spoke to you. That's amazing. That's what, ironing sharpen iron, right? Iron sharpens iron. And that's what you guys were doing, I hope. Obviously, I'm sure you were. Mert says he's doing good. Thank you much for asking. Have a wonderful, good. Good on you, brother.
Hey, word.
Working out at the moment. Feeling
Get it,
great.
girl.
At a girl. I worked out today. Man, this arm is broken. I did stucco. I don't know if you guys are familiar with what stucco is. It's the cement on the house, hawk and trowel. I did that for a lot of years. Kind of just destroyed this arm. Today, went Frisbee golfing. Link beat me.
Just by one.
I swear to God, honestly beat me at disc golf this morning by one. And then
We've been talking about it all day. He's telling everybody.
Then we went to Fleece's mom's house for a birthday party and played basketball. We were just playing around the world, right? Oh my goodness, this arm it hurts. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm old and it hurts.
And your face is a little lobster.
Yeah, I'm a little sunburnt. See what I look like on this screen. Oh yeah, I'm burnt.
Well, it looks like that in real life too.
Now I'm on as a piece of paper.
Spray or wheelbarrow?
Wheelbarrow, scaffold, tarps in the winter, heat in the summer. Wheelbarrow. I'm a good wheelbarrow driver. And so that will lead us to our June 14th AA thought of the day. In AA, because this is about alcoholics, but you can just replace drink with drugs because it's pretty much the same. In AA, we have to learn that drink is our greatest enemy. Although we used to think that liquor was our friend. Can you think of a song that would, what do you call it? desensitize you to thinking liquor's cool, that he's your friend. Maybe Jose Cuervo, you are a friend of mine.
Like all the songs.
No bueno. Although we used to think that liquor was our friend, the time came when it turned against us and became our enemy. We don't know just when this happened, but we know that it did because we began to get in trouble. And that led us to jails and hospitals. A lot of our friends to death. We realize now that liquor is our enemy. Here's our question for us. Is it still my main business to keep sober? Obviously, you guys are here thinking about recovery. You want to stay sober. 245 days in the chat I seen. You're obviously here to stay sober. So look at where you may be getting complacent. Think about this week. If you start getting complacent, ask yourself, is my main business to keep sober? Just be on the watch out, man. This week has been an eye-opener to me for my sobriety, as I seen a couple events in my life that could have led me a month from now to back to drinking, just giving up on everything, just going back to the usual 9 to 5 without my inspirations and dreams, and screw it, just go back to numbing. You know what I mean? And I don't want that. Here's our meditation of the day. It is not your circumstances that need altering so much as yourself. After you have changed, conditions will naturally change. Spare no effort to become all that God would have you become. Follow every good leading of your conscience. Take each day with no backward look. Face the day's problems with God and seek God's help and guidance as to what you should do in every situation that may arise. Amen. Never look back. Never leave until tomorrow the thing that you are guided to do today. Amen.
Ooh, going along with that, never put back to tomorrow what you can get done today.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Thank you, Linky. And then the prayer of the day is, I pray that God will help me become all that he would have me be. I pray that I may face today's problems with good grace. If you guys are getting value out of this, please hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that bell to be notified every night at 8 o'clock when we go live. Hey, smooth commercial transition.
Smooth as butter.
I think I did it that time.
Boom. Yeah, great.
I just realized something. We guys are high-fiving each other like that. Because that's a low five.
Much better. Much better.
Graphics. Fancy. Oh, good night in advance, Erin. If you happen to fall asleep.
Erin had a stressful day.
Good night.
She sounded tired on the phone. Or on the Zoom. Whatever. We'll be praying for you, Erin. Who's Jamie Boyd? Oh, we've seen her before, right?
Oh, what was her first one? I got lots of thank yous. Thank you. 16 months. Almost.
16 months. Yes. Good job, Jamie. Thanks for being here. I'm glad you're here.
Who's my Facebook user?
Very glad you're here.
Israel Martinez. Well, hello.
Israel, what's up, brother? So we're going through a book right now called Addictive Thinking, Understanding Self-Deception. If you want to pick yourself up one, there is one in the link in the description. Not this link, a different link. But today we're going to be talking about manipulation. The manipulation is the action of manipulating something in a skillful manner. Skillful manner. The action of manipulating someone in a clever or unscrupulous way. It was weird because I was looking up this word, and it comes from a term in the Greek or Latin, actually, and that's how they used to measure, with one handful. And you were very skillful when you could finally measure accurately with this one scoop of your hand, and it was called manipuluso or something like that. And it turned into, over time, it became when somebody can skillfully, craftfully move you with their hand. To manipulate, right? It got that negative connotation to it. I thought it was kind of cool. Aaron, what's going on? By the grace of God, I hit 1 year this past Friday. Good job, brother. Keep it up. Keep going. No looking back. 1 year. I'm almost there. One of my buddies just hit a year. It's no joke. It's no joke. Try it, man. The first year, if you think about what it takes to get through that first year, you know, you got to hit step one. Even if you don't do step work, you have to somehow admit you have lost the battle to having fun partying with this crap, drinking or drugging, right? And then you quit, and that starts your sobriety date. But then you got a good 6 months of getting that chemical, rewiring your brain, you know, the first, you know, however long it takes to get the chemical alcohol physically out of your system. And then the consequences of what that alcohol, the poison of the drug and alcohol did to your body is starting to change everything. And in the midst of that, your head's clearing up and you're trying to keep it on straight while you're learning recovery and still trying to have the strength through your higher power to stay sober and stay the course, and then to make it a year, man, that's good on you, brother. I understand how hard it is, you know, and we talk to our counterparts that never been addicted to anything, and we expect, you know, 30 days clean, a parade, because we understand what we're going through. But a year, dude, that's a congratulations. Good job.
Keep it up.
Heck yeah. Acceptance, 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 Jamie says. Amen. Oh, my nose is getting stuffy on me.
Aaron made me tired. I can feel you yawning from miles away.
Read Teeter's thing.
I learned today that just by telling my story and posting it up, I inspired a friend of mine to quit drinking. Happy to say she's 30 days sober now.
Dude.
Very cool, Mike. Very cool.
Ooh. Speaking of talking, sometimes it's your turn to talk and sometimes it's your turn to listen.
That's right. Here in recovery, sometimes it's our turn to speak. Sometimes it's our turn to listen.
Chris Brunner is
Hey, Chris.
in the house.
What's going on, brother?
Friends with Brittany.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, what's your sobriety date there, pal?
Right on.
Awesome. Glad
What
you're
did
here.
Jump Little Doggy say about don't know? Don't really know if alcoholics addicts are any better at it, but I think we may have been more motivated. At quitting?
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, really over it mentally, at least. The drinking and drugging on my first year. This month will be 6 months. And it's awesome. Good job, Jacqueline. And you're in our prayers.
Yeah, I've had a couple tears want to roll down from my yawns. I blame you.
Don't say yawn. It just even saying it's contagious.
Stop it. Unyawn. Unyawn.
I'm not going to do it.
You're going to do it. When I was in full addiction, I was a great manipulative person. It was just another word for control freak.
True, but there's a different sense to this word that we're talking about here, and it's going to be turned introspective towards the end of the chapter. It's a very short chapter. That's why I'm lagging here getting into it. But addictive thinking.
This will be his 1 year. Awesome, Chris.
Good. Hey, what's my sobriety date? Hold up.
Wait a minute.
Hey.
I almost said something that would trigger people.
Mine's August 19th, bro. I'll be a year.
Dang, you guys are almost birthday brothers.
I got 65 more days, and you got 62 and a half more days, or something like that. Right on, bro.
Gonna have a barbecue.
Barbecue, my house, 1 year. Anybody that can make it, get here.
I know of at least two people that could probably make it.
Raina and Alicia.
That's
is going to
the
be at
day.
my 1 year barbecue.
That's gonna be the day Rena comes over for a barbecue.
Pamela Knight, how are you doing?
Hi, Pamela.
All right. So addictive thinking may exist prior to the abuse of alcohol and other drugs. You got to think about that. Now, what we're learning in this book with our addictive nature, our addictive thinking, is that we had some of this stuff going on before we became actively addicted, right? And then during our active addiction, things got worse. Our personalities and our character had ingrained a bunch of character defects in a defensive mechanism to survive the environment that we were living in. So addictive thinking may exist prior to the abuse of alcohol and other drugs. I'm sure it does. But there is one characteristic that appears to be generated by chemical addiction. So what is this characteristic that is generated by chemical addiction? And that's manipulation. Non-addicts, like Felice, are occasionally manipulative. And addicts may have been manipulated other people before they began to drink or use drugs. But With the use of alcohol and other drugs, the problem escalates. People are forced into lying, covering up, and manipulating. Addicted people develop an expertise at manipulating, and over time, this becomes ingrained in our character trait. Think about the manipulations you did to stay high. And I'm not even talking about the big ones, just the little manipulations so that you could turn the tide just a hair so that you could make it to getting your drinking drug. I did it all the time. I was very manipulative.
Brittany said, road trip.
Road trip.
Her and the girls get the camper.
Dibs. She dibs
She
it.
called dibs. Mark said he struggled since he quit drinking and stopped being manipulative. He's a very manipulative person, which is tied to my struggle with anxiety.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, it's a hard thing to uningrain this out of our bodies. We want what we want, and we want it now, and we're going to do whatever we got to do to get it. And if you're in our way, we're going to manipulate you right out of the way. And if we want control over something, we're going to gain control through manipulation. Manipulation may start as a defensive maneuver to explain away the use of alcohol or other drugs. A lot of us will explain it away. Why do you drink? Oh, it's just fun on the weekends. I try to chill. You know what I mean? Or to cover up problems or to create situations that will facilitate drinking or using. Can anybody out there give me an example when you've manipulated to create situations that will facilitate drinking or using?
Ooh, maybe their doctor prescribed it.
Dude, that's exactly right. My doctor prescribed it. It's good. It's okay. And that's justification. That gets you into some justification, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then you go in there and manipulate the doctor about pain that may not really exist. Even though there is that brain function that will produce pain in you that's not really, a whole other subject. What'd she say?
She said it's very hard to stop all of the defects after the drug or alcohol is gone, but not impossible.
Mm-hmm.
My kids are driving me to drink. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another one.
Arguments with a significant other to have an excuse to drink.
Or creating the argument. Another a manipulative way is to make an argument happen or to force them to be so done with dealing with you. They're like, go drink, get the heck out of here.
Yep. Hey, all. Yeah. Manipulate yourself for better and make sure it's without using. If you choose to manipulate others, they will come back around.
True. But sooner or later, it takes on a life of its own. After we start learning how to do this defensively to, get what we want, it takes on a life of its own. The addict manipulates just to manipulate and lies just to lie, even though there may be nothing to gain. Manipulation and lying, instead of being a means to an end, actually becomes ends in themselves. It becomes so habitual. What did Ray say yesterday about lying? You remember his comment? Or was it when you were live with him? Ray had a comment about him lying to his wife. And it was like, I just do it because it's a habit. I don't even know why I lie. It's just like the natural thing to do.
I missed that comment.
I was like, whoa. And that's how it can be. I purposely, because of my ex-wife, vouched to my kids. Obviously, I'm human. I lie, right? But I vouched to my kids to never be a liar. I'm not going to lie to you because I know what you're getting on that side of the deal. And so I never told them about Santa Claus, and I didn't play into any of that. I wanted them to grow up and go, my dad's never lied to me. So that later they could distinguish, between us two. And in that, during my addiction, I never lied. I was completely open about everything. Breathing was my trigger. Right?
Lish 17 years, July 1st.
Awesome. That's way awesome. 17 years. Wow. That doesn't come out of trials and tribulations. I don't know what does. But yeah, so I never really got the habitual lying ingrained in me just because I had made what do you call it? A vow, I guess you could say, a resolve. I made a resolve to not be a liar to my kids and wife and stuff just because of what I went through. And even though I had my manipulations and my white lies, you know what I mean? But that just to habitually lie, like, where you been? I don't know. I was up there when really I was over there, you know. There's a story to illustrate what this is kind of talking about.
That's pretty.
And it starts off by saying, avoid being conned. It says, during his using and drinking days, Phil would often come home at dawn or even disappear for days. So you can already tell the wife's going to be triggered if he stays out late in recovery, right? Because that's what he did while he was drinking. He would often come home at dawn or even disappear for days. So after leaving rehab, Phil attended AA and NA meetings frequently. One night after a meeting, he and several friends went to an all-night coffee shop where they continued a mini meeting until after midnight. Phil's wife, of course, was terrified by his failure to return home at 10:30, as expected, and assumed the worst. She's triggered. Oh boy, he's relapsed. He's back out in the streets. But when Phil finally came home, he came in the door and she demanded, "Why didn't you call and let me know you were going to be late?" And what was his response? He said, "I did call you, but there was no answer." And Phil's wife knew that the phone had not rung and was skeptical about his account of the coffee bar mini meeting. She was reassured only when Phil's sponsor verified the story. So he lied. She didn't believe him anyway until the sponsor, but his knee-jerk reaction, even after being at an NA meeting, an after-hours one, a mini meeting, was to lie as soon as he walked through the door, which probably triggered her even worse, you know. So this guy, Abraham, discussed the incident with Phil, and he said, "I don't know why I told her I had called. I knew it was a lie, but it was just seemed natural for me to do." Have any of you experienced that? The people who are in here in the chat that have done drugs and habitually lied through their drug use, hiding their drug use, hiding their drinking. We had a lot of people in our my IOP that were like the closet drinkers, the hiding it and all that kind of stuff. I never did. I would hide the amount I drank, but I would come with the bottle through the door straight to the basement, and they knew I was drinking, but
Usually knew how much too. You're not very sneaky.
I wasn't trying to hide it.
Well, you would put it under the bottom of the seat of the truck.
Good for you, Sapper. You know how many times I did that? Dude, the milkshake, woo, brings all the sober boys to the club.
Brittany said, speaking of triggers, she was driving yesterday with the girls and there was road work and came across a sign that said bump.
Oh.
I had no idea that it would trigger me, but it did. It was crazy. Crazy, those weird little things. Like, whoa.
Bump. That word just brought back a party I was at.
Oh, just triggered LT.
Yeah, I kind of did. We were selling cocaine, and we had this little freaking thing. All you had to do was twist it one time, and we sold it. You know, I was in the bathroom, $5. Bump, bump, five. That's what that made me think of.
Hey, TJ.
Hey, TJ, what's up, brother? Go ahead and read that, Derek.
Recovery is a process of elimination. I need to eliminate my old way of thinking to make way for the new way of thinking. Loneliness is a huge trigger for me to use. Also, fear of the future.
Oh, loneliness is part of HALT.
That's right, brother. Brittany, you're not bad. We're the same. I had to hide and lie my drug use with family and law enforcement. Oh, yeah. Scary.
I hear Milkshake bringing all the boys to the yard.
I don't even know where it came from. Just right off the top of the head.
He already said.
Yeah, no worries. My IOP peer having a drink on break, shaking my head. Up getting caught.
Ended up getting caught. All your peers did?
Just went like today.
Well, at least they got caught.
Yeah, good for them getting caught. I grabbed a milkshake, then a fifth. not instead of a fifth. Walked into my garage, saw a bag of power tools covered in water. Wet dog all over the furniture. I just, woo, man. I had to leave for the better of it. Yeah, dude. Whew. That makes me mad.
Yeah.
Just
And eat dinner. Good job, Kyle.
yeah, when
good.
dogs trash the house, man, oh, I'm instant mad.
Or when they poop in the basement.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Disgusting.
Go ahead and read it.
I used to have a hard time even trying to eat with a spoon or even clean my ears with a Q-tip. That's when I started learning about my triggers.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Wow.
Cotton and, yeah, drawing needles and all that stuff.
Good choice. Good choice.
Hey, man, got through without drinking. That's awesome. So this guy, Abram, he often cautions people entering treatment. Okay, now this is where it's going to turn introspective, right? We understand we manipulated, we lied, we did whatever we had to do to survive in our addiction for our little precious. You know, it reminds me of Schmeagol with his little ring, just manipulating anything he can to keep hold of that. Any lie he'll have to tell. Whatever he's got to do to protect his little idol, you know, that's your God. That was your higher power, and that's what you worshiped, you know, your alcohol and your drugs. Ooh, this is mine. We are idolaters, and that's what we worshipped. And so now we're going to flip this manipulation and turn it introspectively, because we can be the biggest manipulators of ourselves. He says, I often caution people entering treatment that they must be careful not to con themselves. People might gain a temporary advantage by putting something over on others, but it's a hollow triumph when they con themselves. The victor is also the vanquished. When you con yourself, the victory is equally a vanquishing. Early in recovery, some addicts claim to have a flash of insight. It suddenly strikes them how blind they have been to their addiction and how selfish and inconsiderate they have been. Their eyes are open. Boom. Whoa. Holy crap. Look at me. I've been a piece of crap. They think, I am certainly not stupid enough to revert back to that destruction and behavior now that I have become aware of it. So they do. They have this instant flash of, whoa, but then all of a sudden they're telling themselves, I'll never go back to that. That was stupid. I'm not that stupid to go back to that. Having had this vision of truth, they may elect to leave treatment because they no longer need it. Or if they do remain in treatment, they become the therapists for other patients, helping them to achieve a similar flash of insight. Does that make sense? I'm making sense to y'all? You can
I never shot up what my ex did and used my diabetic daughter's needles. Ooh. So for some people in recovery, it's hard for them to see those needles that she used. Yeah. Very, very true. That's crazy.
Abraham says, nonsense. Years of addictive thinking and behavior do not melt away overnight. Have you found yourself in that situation? Newcomers, if you've got 15 or less days, if you got 30 or less days, maybe even 60 or less days, have you felt yourself have this awakening and start having that feeling of, I got this, I'm good? You know, that actually happened to me. It happened to me on day 47. It was actually led up till 47th day I drank. I had the huge epiphany. I realized what a piece of crap I was. I realized what drinking was doing in my life when I, made the list, pros and cons. Look at all the crap it did to me, and here's all the cons, you know what I mean? Here's the pros, 0, cons, 1,000,000. And I was like, I'm good. I got this whipped. I'm not powerless over drinking. I can drink. I got this now. I'll never go back to that. And boom, what did I do? 3 shots of whiskey, thinking I'm in control. Had to start my clean date over right there, 47 days. And so that humbled me right back especially when my counselor smacked me up the side of the head with the logic block and sat me in my chair. And now it's like, okay, humbly ask God to remove these, because proudfully you are thinking you got this beat, and you don't. I don't.
Hola, I saw your house. We're all jealous of your Navajo tacos.
Oh,
Those are like my favorite
That
food to
sounds
get at the
delicious.
carnival. They make the best ones. You guys probably make the best ones, but they make the second best ones.
and so to think of all the years we spent drinking and drugging, right? We were addicted, but what came with that addiction? What baggage is left over with that addiction? Okay? We're abstinent now. We're not on any mind-altering drugs. But we still have addictive personalities. We still think like addicts. We still have a ton of character defects. And to think for a second that those are going to be gone overnight is nonsense. And so we must recognize that when we start feeling proud and lifted up, I got this beat. That's the second one. What does the saying go? The pride comes before a fall.
Pride comes before the fall.
That's exactly what's going to happen. He says, nonsense. Years of addictive thinking and behavior do not melt away overnight. In spite of addicts' protests of sincerity, they are manipulating. The tragedy is that addicts have conned themselves into believing that they have achieved instant recovery. And now you have become the con artist and the one that's being conned when you start talking to yourself that way. Watch out for your addictive thinking telling you that you are better. Because, and I'm not saying you're not good, but what I'm saying is you are not over your addictive habits. We have a lot of, what is recovery? When something is injured, it has to heal. You get cut, you're not going to heal overnight. And that's the same way with our brains, our character, our personality, and then all the relationships we have to amend and all that kind of stuff.
Is it that time?
It's that time.
It's that time.
It's that time for Cassie's quote. You want to watch?
Yeah.
All right, let's hear from Cassie today.
Hey, my recovering addict family. I'm here today with your motivational quote on recovering addicts. This is my commandment. Love one another as I have loved you. John 15:12. Thanks, LT. Love you. And as always, you guys know what to do. Let's bring it together and continue to spread that love.
Spread the net, Cassie.
Amen. I love you too,
Spread the
Cassie.
net.
Thank you again for another amazing quote.
Aw, Bob says you're so pretty.
She is pretty, isn't she? And now check this out. You could be this silver-tongued devil, right? In your IOP. You're conning yourself into thinking, I'm good. I got this. And then you got some unaware therapist, some newbie, some green guy, right? Thanks, buddy. An unaware therapist may be taken in by the addict's sudden insight. And that, because the sudden insight, us addicts, we're not stupid. We're, for the most part, very intelligent people who, with our discontent, our ADD minds and just the way we think and go about things, we crammed it up with alcohol and drugs. So an unaware therapist may be thinking, how wonderful not to have a laborious chisel and have to chisel away at this mountain of denial like I do with other clients. You know what I mean? What's up, Ricky? He says, what a relief to have somebody who can promptly begin working on the important issues of recovery. Here is somebody who is ready to do a fourth step, take an inventory in the second week of treatment, and a fifth step, sharing his or her life story with another person on the very next day. This is a person who takes a high-speed elevator rather than the 12 steps. The therapist needs to be aware. This is pure manipulation. Odds are this person will stop at the nearest bar on the way home from the treatment center. The odds are against a person like that. So now that we are aware of our manipulative behaviors towards others and what we've done to hide and keep our drug to ourselves, we will also, in recovery, con ourselves to thinking that we don't need to finish and play out this recovery, this healing of the mind. Remember, we've been talking about emotions and healing, and if there's a problem inside of you, it needs to be healed. We can't con ourselves to thinking we don't need the healing. And all you have to do is weigh it out. How long were you addicted? How much did you use? How much were you using daily? And just weigh it out and think that recovery is going to happen overnight. It's not. And enjoy the journey, because recovery is an amazing journey.
Yep.
I've been loving pretty much every second of it. It has its ups and downs, struggles, trials, tribulations, but 80% is amazing and fabulous. Every day just opens new doors to just, wow, life is this much better with my eyes wide open. It's pretty cool because he's talking about shortcuts now, because we're being aware, right? There's no shortcut to recovery. We can't manipulate our way into thinking that there is. And once we do manipulate our way, then that's when we fall. But a shortcut is often the quickest way to some place you weren't going. Why should someone take such a shortcut? Because in contrast to normal thinking, where people may use shortcuts to reach a goal faster, in addictive thinking, the shortcut is the goal. It doesn't have to go anywhere in particular. As with other aspects of addictive thinking, the addict's shortcut and manipulations do not appear to be obviously absurd, and it is easy to get taken in. Furthermore, these manipulations do not disappear immediately with abstinence from chemicals. Much time must elapse, much work must be done before the recovering addict can overcome manipulative behavior. So if you look back on your life, if you take a real honest approach, what does it say in the big book, chapter 5, how it works is being honest, right? So if you are right now thinking about your life, honestly talking to yourself about your life, think of how manipulative you were. How manipulative have you been? How manipulative are you still being? Because much time, much work must be done before the recovering addict can overcome manipulative behavior habits. Habits are hard to break. And the older we are, you know that saying, can't teach a dog new tricks type of thing. It's harder to correct ourselves. And if it's been years and years and years, man, that's going to take some time of failure and success and failure. 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of thing. Oh, Chris, I humbly thank you for that comment, but I'm only reading books and my experience. I try to stay humble because I am just as subject to failure as the next guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
But thank you, brother.
That's a long one. It says most criminal minds become habitual criminals because they were shown a pardon once. Because of that, they think they can get the same results. But in the courtroom, the judge just sees the face that keeps appearing. It all falls downhill. The same goes for drinking. That's when you learn stopping is the answer to the good treatment, and you feel supported and stop. It's pretty easy for me to spot someone that is just parodying, or the chronic relapser that says, I got it this time. This time is different.
Right.
Never took shortcuts in addiction, so I definitely can't take shortcuts in recovery.
Right?
The plasticity of the human mind.
Absolutely.
Never-ending journey with no graduation day. What up, Soup?
That's true, Soupy. No graduation. I was on a Zoom with Megan Saturday, and she's clean over a year, and she had that epiphany of, because she thought, 12 steps done, I graduate, I'm good, I got this. But it hit her, recently. I don't know how recent, but she was like, wow, this is a never-ending thing. I never graduate. And everybody that told me when I was a newcomer that there's no graduation, she's like, I get it now. And I love recovery. And this is one of the biggest things you've probably heard me say a million times. I'm sitting in my IOP. I love learning this kind of stuff. I love psychology. I love human behavior. I love battling character defects. I love just all that stuff that goes on in the mind. And I'm sitting there learning all these tools like, wow, this is amazing. And, we're sitting there talking back and forth and, wow, I can do this, I can do that. And I can, and everything's getting better and better. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. I was here because I quit. I forgot that I was in my IOP because I had a problem with alcohol. Recovery becomes more after a while than just, I need to stay clean for today. And all of that is obviously keeping you clean. And that's the main thing, right? Is why we get into recovery. But recovery just keeps blossoming and the light keeps shining brighter and brighter as you keep getting through it. And then you look back, oh yeah, and you got to remember where you came from, like I was here because of my alcoholism and all this mess I created for myself, and then undoing it and untying the knots in your brain as it's rewiring itself. Oh, man, that's fabulous. I love it. I can't wait, bro.
A live unboxing it is.
And we're going to do it right here live on TV.
Better be aliens. Just saying. Or some dirt from Area 51.
LT's sponge soaks up more than a rock. Yes, amen.
Your sponge.
I was a rock for a long time. Hard-headed knucklehead. Arrogant knucklehead.
I get suckered all the time for the reason I am a terrible sponsor. All my sponsees get drunk or die. So when they ask me to sponsor, I just say, yeah, sure. But you're going to die.
You sound like Aubrey.
At least you're honest.
Aubrey's sponsor told him nobody's ever got past step 4 with me. Aubrey's like, oh yeah, sucker? Put your money where your mouth is.
11 years now of continuous applications, like being here as often as possible.
Awesome, IP.
Very
We
awesome.
love having you here. You dropped some bombs on us. It's awesome.
Yeah, you got some good stuff.
Go ahead.
Oh boy, I was one of the worst after being a 26-year meth addict, and just trying to change my mindset was enough to overwhelm anyone. But by the grace of God and my NAA program, things are different. Very awesome.
Wow, 26 years of meth addict.
Hey,
amazing.
Molly,
Smith.
what up?
I'm glad you're here. Yes, it does get better.
There's some encouragement, I guess. Bob Smith, I've had 12 sponsees and only one is still sober.
Wow. That's the battle, man. That's where my mind was when I was first in my IOP. I started doing research on statistics and how, what does this work? How successful is this stuff? And I started just getting into all the analytics of statistics of relapse and, all that stuff. And it's like somebody like 30% succeed and 70% fail. And that's just a kind of a general number because there's so many variables you can put into the equation. So I just kind of blobbed it with 30% succeed and 70% fail. But you could do the numbers completely different, and it gets worse and worse if you do. And so I was like, screw this. Why am I here? I can do it on my own. Obviously, me being in this IOP, it's, 30% success rate. So what's the point of me being here? I'll be able to do it on my own better. And I keep thinking the program failed. The program failed. No, it's not the program. It's the people who fail to work the program. What is it? What do we always say? It works if you work it. The people that are not sober, the people who go back, relapse, and die, they stopped working the program. Because honestly, I can say now, it works if you work it. The moment you stop working it is the moment you start drifting towards relapse. At that moment, you start drifting towards relapse. And we're going to have days where we're in relapse mode. But the key is having the tools to stop that process, to pull you back on track, to have a community and a support center to pick you up when you fall down, and to have the ability to see it when it's happening, to learn how to take the weight off of the phone and call somebody, or just have the mental tools to say, this too shall pass, or halt, am I hungry, angry, lonely, or tired, and be able to self-adjust. Oh crap, am I manipulating myself here, or am I manipulating other people? Is this addictive thinking again? You start becoming aware of your mind, and you start becoming aware of your emotions, and then you can actually control yourself without your emotions controlling you. That is the goal, because you are in control of you. You stop working the program, it don't work.
The t-shirts are pre-shrunk, so I think you'll be all right there.
Are they?
Uh-huh.
They're pre-shrunk?
Did yours feel like it shrunk?
I didn't even notice.
They say pre-shrunk. Oh man, they got them hidden too well. Dang it.
Go figure. That's funny.
When you leave this earth sober, we have completed the program successfully.
It's so true, Desi.
Amen, Des. Amen. Why we really sponsor is to keep us sober. If they stay sober, great. But if you are staying sober, it's working.
Hence, Fleece and I on this channel every night. We are here 100% for you guys. But at the same 100%, I'm here for my sobriety too. You all keep me accountable. Do you think I would be digging into these books daily if I didn't have to come and talk about it in the evening? Not even close. There's no way I would have gone through 3 books in the last 2 months. And when I say go through 3 books, I didn't just read them. I read them, underlined them, reread them, Googled stuff, researched words I didn't understand, studied them, studied each page, each chapter. There's no way I would have done that if I didn't have you guys here supporting me by watching and listening to what I'm saying. So thank you for that. And that's 100% true. We sponsor, and that's putting the mask on ourselves. And it's just it's a win-win situation. I help you, you help me, and it's joyful for both of us to do so. There's nothing selfish about that statement. Being a sponsor just to keep yourself sober, there's nothing selfish about that at all, because it's a win-win. And if you can get a win-win, it's good anytime. And if you can get a triple win, helping somebody that helps somebody that stays sober who ends up helping somebody stay sober, I always look for a win-win situation in anything I do, even at work now. We truly recover better together. You're absolutely right, John. A no judgment zone where you can come and talk about your emotions and what you're going through of the day, and no one's going to be like, what? No, they're going to be like, I understand. Let it out. You know what I mean? I love it. That's one thing that got me too, is having been, I'm just going to use the example of work, the conversations, the small talk, the pipe dream talks of winning the lottery, or what are you going to do this weekend, and what are you going to get in debt for so you can do the stuff you want to do this weekend. All these superficial, just fake conversations all day, every day at work, and drinking and numbing and just nothing productive, no value. And then all of a sudden I land in my IOP, and it's this refreshing breath air of true, honest, heart-to-heart conversations. It's like, what? Is this the way humans were supposed to be? Obviously, yeah. But wow, I loved it. I love it. And that's why we recover better together. Man, it's awesome.
It's very awesome. The last 20 years drinking has been my go-to. I need to get my head in the Bible and rewire my brain. I really appreciate you guys. You're the reason I'm not drinking right now.
Amen, Sapper.
Awesome.
Get your head in the Bible. I love that too.
Mm-hmm.
On Sundays at noon, and I've only been inviting the patrons, which I send the email through to my patrons. But a lot of people don't show up. I don't know if it's, email. It's how often do you check your freaking email? I get it. But at 12 o'clock on Sundays, I've been doing what I wanted, what I'm geared to do. And you don't have to come, because I know everybody has different higher powers, and I get it. But I want to have a spiritual Zoom meeting once a week. And I don't know what that's going to look like, but that's kind of what my Patreon's Zoom meeting was all about. We come and we can talk about spiritual things. You can talk about your higher power. I'll talk about my higher power. And we just, through literature and educate each other. Because if this is a spiritual program, how in depth do we need to get with spirituality? You know what I mean? And where do we gain our strength from our higher power? What does that really look like? And I kind of want to start getting into that. We learn these tools. We're understanding psychology. We're understanding relationships. But when we say we've made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understand Him, how do we, let's get into the meat and crux of that. You came to believe in a power greater than yourself could restore you to sanity. What does that look like? And how can you be restored to sanity? And if a power is greater than yourself, what does that tangibly look like in our lives? And how are we practicing that? And I see there's a lack here on this channel of that communication. And so Zoom on Sundays at noon was going to be that. I'm I don't know, with your guys' suggestions, email me, hit me up on the Facebook Messenger, just shoot it out there on the Discord, or text me if you got my phone number, and help me out with some ideas on how to construct this spiritual movement. Who would be interested in even showing up? And maybe I'll just open it up for everybody. I want the patron, the idea behind the patron, right? Okay, is that if you join my patron, I give you something special that not everybody else gets. Me personally, now this is just my conviction and the way that I feel about it, so I'm not judging anybody that does it different. I just want to give value, period. And if you see the value in this channel and want to be a part of my patron, thank you so much, because our end goal is to do this full time all day and to just set up communities and just keep getting bigger and bigger with it. And I don't want to hold just something back for the people that have supported it. I don't know. It doesn't feel right personally to me. And I want to be able to give everything I got to everybody that's out there, to everybody that's watching. So that 12 o'clock, I want it to be for everybody too. But I want to set up all that to say that I want to set up a 12 o'clock spiritual Zoom meeting. And it doesn't have to be 12. But.
Kyle, Colossians chapter 3 got me through lots of hard times. Jamie said it's gonna look beautiful. Chris says he's in. Sheree said she was late, missed it. Kyle will be there.
Okay. There's my uncle.
Jamie would show up. Kat's interested. Ankh is in the house.
No. Hey, there's my uncle. Been worried about you, uncle. Did you text me yet? No. Damn.
Brittany,
thank
yours
you.
is really long. We'll go back to it.
Okay. So does OBS. That's 4 a.m. our time. Yeah, I want to do it with a good time for Australia as well. John, we could use another person on our team. Absolutely. James and I are a team. We see ourselves as a team. And I admire James a ton. And we try to work together through a lot of this stuff. And we could use you, John. And you got a nice setup and a microphone and a great baseball pitcher in your background. Alicia will be there. Okay, so I'm going to put a poll out. I'll put it out tonight.
Israel's interested.
Okay.
Lots of people interested.
I just got to figure out a good time. I'm thinking Sundays. Maybe Sundays at 6. 6 o'clock was a good meeting today, and I just impromptu threw one together just to see what it would look like. 6 o'clock would be 10 o'clock Australian Monday morning. So Monday morning Australian time. So maybe it needs to be Saturday at 6. Maybe I can do one at 3 and one at 6. We'll do one at 3 for recovery and then do another one at 6. I don't know. It's too much to think about. Help me think about it, y'all.
Well, it sounds like lots of people would be interested.
Okay.
No room on my phone. Teacher doesn't have Zoom.
Well, you better get it.
There's no room on his phone.
Oh, that's right. He needs to delete some apps. You need to get Candy Crush. Take Candy Crush. Maybe that little golf game. I don't know what you got on there. Excuse me. What's the time difference between y'all and Georgia time?
Bounced.
Jamie Boyd, right now at this very second is 8:59 p.m. Utah time. We are Mountain Standard. I'm not sure where Georgia is time-wise. You're either an hour or 2 hours ahead of us.
Oh, there you go. Mark's got it.
Epi is okay, so Epi's west of us. California, maybe.
I think so. Israel's in Texas. Don't let the time stress you out, I'll tell you.
But I know Monday morning in Australia. Monday, you guys are going to work when we're having Sunday dinner. Jacqueline's, I work every Saturday night. Israel's in Texas. Off every other Sunday. I'm interested, but it's hard to please us all. I know. I wish I could.
Jerry's 10 o'clock right now. Yes.
I got hooked on it too.
Facts. Candy Crush is way better than crack.
I crushed lots of that candy. What was Bob's joke?
It's a long string of comments
Oh, dang it. Oh, well.
about page 69. Here.
That's part of the jokes I'm going to get confused about. Page 69 and 96, sponsors say about sex. Read page 69, yeah. But he accidentally says pages 96. Surely you will find someone desperate enough.
Oh, desperate enough to be your sponsor. That's what it talks about. Or your sponsee.
I get it. That is funny. 6 is on page 69.
California. They think you're so funny, Bob. Funny. You guys crack me up.
All right, let's say the prayer. Right? Yeah. Prayer. Ready?
Hold on, go to the comments.
Oh, boy.
Oh, look at Linky.
Attaboy, Linky. We'll put that up when we do it. Also, my sponsors be a big guy with the first 3 words on the page 112. Anyone? First 3 words on page 112. Ow!
Yeah.
Yeah, I bumped my head and everything on that one.
Hung on fire again.
Read this book. That's
Wow.
awesome.
Time to pray?
I think so.
There you guys go. Courtesy of Linky.
Yeah, Desmond, these time zone makes my head spin too. I'm going to try to make it Australian friendly because I love it when they're there too. I love Cherie and Desmond, and I can't remember the other guy's name. The other bloke, I can't remember his name. Ready? God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And God, we're going to rely on you for the time to set the spiritual meeting up. Where it's going to be about higher power, God, so we're going to let that come to your fruition. And whatever time you choose, we will obey. And we thank you so much. Go ahead, Linky.
And another thing, Lord, we pray to help all the suffering addicts out there to find sobriety, dear Lord. In
Yes.
Jesus' precious name I pray.
Amen. Good job, Linky.
Thank you.
Amen. Stranger Things.
All right, what's tomorrow going to be about? Let me chapter 11 real quick. Guilt and shame. Uh-oh. Ugh.
Fun.
Guilt and shame tomorrow in Addictive Thinking. And tomorrow we'll be here at 8 o'clock. I'm going to throw some stuff on Facebook that we can chit-chat about this time zone thing. I'm going to look at time zones and I'll figure it out. We'll definitely set in stone a spiritual meeting. We'll continue with this Saturday at 3. Aubrey's here in the States at 6 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. And then we're going to add an extra one in there. But until then, I will see you guys tomorrow. But do not put yourself in a high-risk situation. Stay strong, work your program, and remember, we recover better together.